Hey everybody. So I want to talk about special teams in the NHL a little bit and how important special teams really is for having a successful season, for making the playoffs, and for overall being a good team in this league. Before we get to that, I just want to say, if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. As long as you're a fan of hockey and a fan of the NHL, there are videos here for you. So subscribe and follow this channel, please. So what I did is I took the top 10 teams in power play percentage and the top 10 teams in penalty kill percentage here, wrote them out in order of where they finished, and looked at really, how well they did this season and what kind of an effect that special teams does seem to have on success in the NHL. So power play. The top 10 teams in power play percentage this past season, 2017-18, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Boston, Winnipeg, New York Islanders, Washington, Colorado, Vancouver, and New Jersey. 8 of those 10 teams made the playoffs. So obviously, if you have a top 10 power play in the league, your chance of making the playoffs is pretty good. Let's do the same thing for penalty kill. The top 10 penalty kill teams percentage-wise in the NHL this past season: Los Angeles, San Jose, Boston, Colorado, Anaheim, Nashville, Calgary, New Jersey, Winnipeg, and Vegas. 9 of those 10 teams made the playoffs. So if you can kill penalties, your chances of going to the playoffs are very, very good. 4 of those teams, Boston, Colorado, New Jersey, and Winnipeg, were top 10 in both penalty kill and power play. And all 4 of those teams were playoff teams last year. So special teams plays a huge role in how good of a season you have, if you're really good at special teams, your chances of making the playoffs are very, very high, because being able to kill penalties is incredibly important, and being able to capitalize on power play chances is incredibly important. That's why you look at these teams that are very good at both. These 4 teams that were top 10 at both, they were all playoff teams, and I can guarantee you their special teams were a huge reason why they made the playoffs this past year. Another way to think about it is maybe their special teams are good because they're good teams. That's kind of another way to look at it. You look at these teams and they're all very talented, good teams, and that leads to having good special teams. But when you look at some other teams that aren't on this list, and you think, well, they're good teams too, but special teams kind of hurt them maybe. I mean, the number one case of this last year was the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers have a very talented roster on paper. They had an abysmal season last year, and special teams played a huge role in that. They were one of the worst teams in the league in both power play and penalty kill. Their special teams played a huge role in absolutely killing their season last year. So basically what this shows is that special teams can really make or break your season, and the top special teams in the league are generally your top teams in the league, and whether that's because their special teams are good, or if their special teams are good because they're top teams in the league, it really, it doesn't matter which what comes first, the chicken or the egg. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that if you're top 10 in special teams, either power play or penalty kill, your chances of making the playoffs are very, very good. And if you're top 10 in both and have really good penalty kill and power play, your chances of making the playoffs are even higher, as we saw all 4 teams last year that were top 10 in both categories made the playoffs. So special teams do play a big, big role in how well teams do. And if you have a really good penalty kill, that's going to win you games throughout the year at points. If you have a really good power play, sometimes a power play can single-handedly win you a game. You can think maybe you win a game 3-1, and 2 of those goals came on the power play, your power play just won you that game. So, special teams are huge and definitely something to watch for going into this coming season. Chances are that the teams near the top of the league in special teams are going to be the teams that are in the playoff picture and fighting for playoff spots, because as much as penalty kill and power play can help you, they can also hurt you as well, as we saw with Edmonton last year. So, throughout the season, I'm going to be keeping close tabs on where teams are in power play and penalty kill percentage, because that plays a big role in where you finish in the final standings. So here, as it shows, all those X's are playoff teams. If you're top 10 in special teams, even if it's just one of them, your chances of making the playoffs are very, very good. So pay attention to special teams. Pay attention to what your team is good at and where they are special teams wise, because it plays a big role in where you finish, come the final standings at the end of the year. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media, check out offthewallhockey.com. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.